Let's begin with the latest updates coming in on the building collapse that's been reported in Bengaluru East in Babusta, Palia. The latest update is that 3 bodies have been pulled out. Rescue operations are continuing at this point because 12 people still remain trapped in that debris. Operations are underway to fish out all of the people who remain trapped in that debris. Obviously, in this kind of an operation, time is of the essence. Already, unfortunately, 3 bodies have been pulled out. And this building, an under construction multi-storied building, has come crashing down amid heavy rains. So it's been challenging for authorities to also fish through that debris and reach all the other laborers as well. Let's in fact get you all of those updates. We know that 3 people unfortunately have died in this building collapse. There are 12 more who are trapped in the debris. Operations are underway at this spot. This has happened in Bengaluru East in Babusta, Palia. We'll be getting you latest ground reports as well on the situation there and the rescue and relief efforts that are underway. This building came crashing down even as heavy rains have lashed the city of Bengaluru. Yet another day. Yesterday, we saw a torrential downpour leading to flooding, inundation in several parts of the city. There's been no respite today as well. Anaga Keshav is joining us live with the latest updates on this. The latest news break confirming, unfortunately, Anaga, that 3 deaths have now been confirmed in this building collapse.
Well, right, Aishwarya, a very unfortunate incident where 3 bodies have been recovered of those construction laborers who were trapped under the debris. Very unfortunate incident that's coming in. All in all, we believe that there were 17 construction laborers who were part of that construction process. Both the fire department and the corps team and the rescue and relief operation, all of them are on spot, trying to rescue those who are trapped underneath the debris is what we believe. At the moment, rescue operations are fully underway to at least rescue those who are trapped under the debris. We are yet to fully ascertain what exactly caused this collapse. Was it torrential rainfall, or was it the quality of construction, or was it because something was wrong with the way in which the building was constructed? So every single detail, will be probed once those who are trapped under the debris are being rescued out. At the moment, 3 bodies have been recovered so far. We believe that the entire construction has collapsed on those construction laborers who were working inside the construction site. We believe there were pillars, there was cement, there were bricks. A lot of construction laborers are currently injured is also what we are learning from our sources. At the moment, rescue operations are underway. Police, the fire engine department, every single personnel, they are on the spot trying to rescue those construction laborers who are trapped underneath the debris.
And this is a challenging operation simply because the weather hasn't really been cooperative. It's been pouring down heavily in the city of Bengaluru today as well. At this point, Anaga, the information we have is that 12 people still remain trapped under all of that debris. How long has this operation been going on? What time did the building collapse take place? Because like I said earlier, in these kind of operations, it's all about, the timing. It's all about ensuring that they dig through the debris and reach these stranded workers at the earliest.
Well, Akshita, we are learning that this has happened sometime in the late afternoon, something around, close to 4 o'clock is what we believe. That was when this incident has taken place. There were, in fact, right in the area where this happened, it was Babusta, Palia. It is very close to the outer ring road, and it was bucketing down very heavily even there. It has been raining incessantly in Bengaluru for the last 3 to 4 days, and today as well from afternoon, it has been continuously pouring. In fact, it is pouring as we speak. So we believe that, this rain could be a very strong additional factor as to why this unfortunate, very tragic incident has taken place. We believe all 17 of them were construction workers. We are yet to find out what was that company, who was that company's owner who was responsible for this construction. Was it a commercial building? Every single detail is yet to get laid out. But at the moment, what we do know is that very unfortunate incident. 3 people have lost their lives. Fire teams have also been rushed.
Obviously, at this point, while there are so many questions that come to our minds, the priority is going to be to ensure that rescue and relief operations are completed at the earliest, and hopefully the other laborers who are trapped inside are pulled out safe and alive. I want to bring in Mr. S. Prakash of the BJP on this broadcast. Mr. Prakash, what's happening in Bengaluru? In the last 24 hours, yes, there's been, unprecedented rainfall, but the manner in which the infrastructure of the city has completely crumbled, has completely collapsed, has left us all asking questions of the authorities here. And look at this latest incident of a building collapse.
First of all, the infrastructure has completely collapsed. Over and above, the response to the collapse is even pathetic. Those who are ruling the state and responsible for the city's infrastructure are completely missing in action. No Bangalore city minister is found on the streets of Bangalore to console the people of citizens who are affected or to provide relief to them. One more incident, the two young children were drowned in Kangeri and their bodies have been found. And now one more, the building collapse. Already 3 are confirmed dead. I don't know how many are stuck inside the debris. Very sad. The state government response is very pathetic. The complete governance collapse we are seeing in Karnataka.
No, but Mr. Prakash, while I understand what you're telling us about really how the government's response has been, the challenge here has been that every single government, whether it's the BJP, the Congress, everyone who's come in has done nothing to address this problem of Bengaluru not being equipped to handle rains. Because every single time we see this happen, it's not just a question of this year.
As we don't have a long-term policy, as the lake beds have been encroached, and no action has been taken in the past and present also, the citizens are suffering. Those who are living in far-off places, the breach of lakes are affecting them even though they are far away from it. It is very sad. Even though we know that such calamities are going to are forthcoming, no preventive measures have been taken in the past several years, and this government promised to brand Bangalore. As in the past 1 year, all their projects are only to escalate the real estate prices in Bangalore, include outskirts of Bangalore into Greater Bangalore, include neighboring districts, and build sky deck, and such illogical programs have been, projects have been conceived, and D.K. Shivakumar is sorely missing today in consoling and leading the relief operation in Bangalore. This pathetic nature, this pathetic governance is responsible for the collapse of Bangalore.
All right, Mr. Prakash, thank you very much for joining us with your view on this. We're going to track all the updates that come in on the building collapse that's been reported in Bengaluru. 3 deaths reported. At this point, we understand that about 12 people still remain trapped under that debris. As the sun is setting, it's obviously becoming a lot more challenging to continue with the rescue efforts, but officials are at it, trying to ensure that everyone is pulled out safely. But with every passing minute, it's going to be more challenging to ensure that these workers are pulled out alive, which is why the priority now is to ensure that they sift through all of that debris safely. But it's not just what's happened with regards to this building collapse, but you look at the images that are coming in from different parts of Bengaluru, which will lead to obvious questions about why we see this every single year. Granted, of course, that there's been non-stop rainfall for the last 3 days in Bengaluru. So it will lead to some waterlogging, it will lead to some difficulties. What you don't expect is these kind of scenes of lakes overflowing, of roads completely inundated because the drainages weren't cleared up. And also, of course, of the lack of preparation on the roads, which are completely pothole-ridden. There's been waterlogging in several areas. People have been evacuated out of several streets. Many Bengalurians we spoke to are saying that they've never seen anything quite like this in the city in the last many years.
Streets waterlogged, apartment basements flooded, residents stranded. It's the same old story for Bengaluru. No solutions and endless blame game. Residents of Kendriya Vihar apartments in Yelahanka got a taste of civic apathy as rains left the entire locality flooded. Boats were used to rescue stranded residents. The National Disaster Response Force had to be called in for the relief operations. Not just Yelahanka, many other localities faced similar situation.
The entire stretch of this road is completely water inundated. That just shows how poor and weak Bengaluru's infrastructure, especially in North Bangalore, is. In fact, water has also entered inside houses. You know, people have been saying that their halls were flooded, water has flown inside their kitchens, completely making a mess out of the whole situation.
I come here, I was surprised, water was there still here. They're not exaggerating. Water was entering till there, so till there, exactly, right? So it was really difficult. First, make sure the drainage are correct. See, we started to clean out the drainage and the water level is kind of receded, right? So it's really important, right? I mean, you have to make sure that maintenance is correct.
Karnataka Revenue Minister Krishna Bairagoda inspected flood-affected areas and took stock of the situation. In an incident in Varthur, a specially abled woman fell off the scooter after she drove on a pothole-riddled road. Commuters travelling on the stretch came to the rescue of the woman. In another incident, on the Hennur-Bengaluru road, a commuter flipped and fell off the scooter negotiating a pothole.
The BBMP, which is the civic body in Bengaluru, has not bothered fixing these potholes, and we are talking about one of the most important high-end areas in Bengaluru. What you're seeing is vehicles that are, kind of slowing down in order to cross these potholes. They have no choice because this is bang in the middle of the road.
Residents of Varthur protested against the pothole menace, demanding accountability from politicians and civic authorities. The Siddaramaiah government blamed the rains for pothole menace.
So ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಾಗಬಹುದು. ಲೋ ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಏರಿಯಾಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಮಳೆಗಳು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳಗಿನ ಜಾವವರೆಗೂ ನಾನು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅವರ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆನೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಲಾಗ್ನ ತೆಗಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
The opposition, BJP and JDS, accused the Congress government of swindling taxpayers.
The Congress government, since it has come to the power, it has done nothing to address the infrastructure and to develop the infrastructure, to build the sluice gates. The sluice gates was announced long back. It could have been implemented, and we can ensure the water management can be regulated very effectively. Whatever kind of rains might come up, even with all these challenges, we can manage better.
One can only truly wonder how this huge pothole right in the middle of the road has managed to miss the eyes of BBMP commissioners and officers who boast so highly about the meetings that they have been holding on Bengaluru's pothole situation. But looking at the reality, it really looks like not much is being discussed in the meeting. With camera person Madhuwar, Anaga Keshav reporting for India Today from Bangalore.
Let's hope that there's no more rainfall in Bengaluru, because the situation already is very, very grim, in particularly the low-lying areas of the city. We will also keep an eye out on the rescue operations that are underway at that under-construction site where the building has collapsed. But let's move on to the story that's coming from Tamil Nadu today. That's become a big national talking point. It's once again Udayanidhi Stalin and his comments on Sanatana Dharma. Remember what he said last year about Sanatana Dharma and comparing it to diseases, saying it needs to be eradicated. Now Udayanidhi Stalin, speaking at an event, said that he will not apologize, that he's Kalaigner's grandson and so will not apologize for the comment. He claims that his comments were even twisted, and that's why he faces multiple cases on this issue. Now, as expected, naturally, you've got the BJP lashing out at the DMK and demanding answers from their allies, from the India bloc. Because remember, while this didn't have as much resonance in Tamil Nadu, it's the allies of the India bloc who are concerned that this could trigger a fresh showdown over Sanatana Dharma all over again, particularly with a crucial state like Maharashtra headed to elections.
சிலவற்றை நாம் ஒழிக்கத்தான் வேண்டும், எதிர்க்க முடியாது. கொசு, டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா, இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்க கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும்.
14 months since this controversial comment, Udayanidhi Stalin has reignited the Sanatan Row. The Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister now has refused to apologize for likening Sanatan Dharma to dengue and malaria. Udayanidhi, speaking at an event, not just said that he would never apologize for his previous comments, but even claimed his remarks were twisted.
தந்தை பெரியார் கொடுத்த குரல் தான், பேரறிஞர் அண்ணா கொடுத்த குரல் தான், நம்முடைய தலைவர் கலைஞர் கொடுத்த குரல் தான் நானும் சொன்னேன். இதற்கு தான் நான் சொன்னதா பொய்யா பிரிச்சு என் மீது தமிழ்நாட்டில் மட்டுமல்ல இந்தியாவில் உள்ள பல நீதிமன்றங்கள்ல இப்பொழுது என் மீது வழக்கு போடப்பட்டிருக்கு. என்ன நீதிமன்றத்தில் மன்னிப்பு கேட்க சொன்னாங்க. நான் சொன்னதுதான் நான் கலைஞர் பேரை எதற்கும் மன்னிப்பு கேட்க மாட்டேன்னு நான் நீதிமன்றத்தில் அந்த வழக்கை சந்தித்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றேன்.
As expected, Udayanidi's comments set the cat among the pigeons, with the BJP lashing out.
Mr. Udayanidi's talent singled out Sanatan Dharm to make such distasteful comments, such condemnable comments. He didn't say it for any other religion. He doesn't have a view, it seems to be, on any other religion. Therefore, the question that he cannot escape from is it a political agenda in create a sort of a favorable impression with somebody else, another segment of society?
But the DMK, which faced immense pressure from the India bloc allies in 2023 over the Sanatan storm, has chosen to back Udayanidhi this time.
The BJP, as usual, they are not able to do anything good for the people of Tamil Nadu or the entire country. They are not able to deliver on their promises. There is zero governance. So they want to divert the attention and they take up this easy plank of hurting the sentiments of Hindus.
Udayanidhi's comment has triggered a political fight in Tamil Nadu, but will there be repercussions for the DMK allies in other states? Like poll-bound Maharashtra. Bureau Report, India Today.
So Udayanidhi Stalin has said there's no question as of now of apologizing, issuing any sort of apology for the comments that he'd made on Sanatana Dharm, despite the huge controversy that broke out over it back in September 2023. Let's bring in the BJP on this. Tamilisai Soundararajan, BJP leader in Tamil Nadu, is joining us on this broadcast. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking to us here on India Today. First of all, your reaction to what Udayanidhi Stalin has said when he says that there's no question of him apologizing no matter what for his previous comments.
First of all, he is very arrogant on that issue, and he is challenging the legal system of our country, which nobody can do that. He's so arrogant, so that he's challenging the legal system. And he is telling it has been twisted, his views are twisted. No. He participated in a conference named Sanadana Abolishing Conference. So he cannot say that his words are twisted. So, frankly, the conference name itself is Sanadana Abolishing Conference. And it is conducted by the Dravidar Kalagam, which is an atheist group, totally against the Hinduism. They are talking about secularism, but only against Hinduism, not against any other religion. Third, Udayanidhi is telling, he was talking only about Sadi, women empowerment, widow marriage, and it has been twisted. No, he clearly mentioned about Sanadana. And he told we will abolish Sanadana as we abolish the dengue and the malaria mosquito. Very clearly his words are there. So this itself, he's a liar and he's lying on that. And another additional point I want to make in a program, in a previous, some other program, he told he was a Christian and he married a Christian. So a person with other religious belief cannot criticize the religious belief of another system. So everything he did a mistake and he was so arrogant and he is giving the credit of abolishing Sadi, women empowerment, everything to Periyar. Before Periyar itself, so many leaders fought for that. Even Hinduism preaches social justice and it has been abolished. So he gives credit to Periyar and he says they will abolish Sanatan Dharm and he won't apologize for that. So it is wrong on his part, very arrogant, and people will punish him.
No, the comment that you made about Periyar, I'll address that in just a bit. But I just want to get your response on how the DMK has reacted to you, saying that, we have upheld Hinduism in Tamil Nadu, the true Hinduism as per them. They said the BJP are not custodians of Hindutva to constantly target Udayanidhi for his comment. What's your response to that?
No, they are talking as if they are the custodians for Tamil culture. They are the custodians for Tamil Nadu. We also owe that culture, and we also talk for empowerment, and we also talk for the revolution of the women empowerment, and they want to portray it like that. The recent aim of the DMK is the narrative of the DMK. They want to portray BJP as pro-Hindi. The party is for Hindi imposition, and the party is for not for women empowerment, and the party is talking only about Hindu religion. No, we are talking about the Hindutva, the way of life, the Sanatan Dharma, which is the way of life, even practiced now each and every Tamilian also. They want to differentiate the Tamil culture with the Sanatan culture. No, the religious practice of Tamil, the Tamil was developed by all the religious leaders than Periyar and Anna. I always say Andal, the female devotee of Perumal. Even now the garlands from Andal goes to Tirupati Balaji. 1,000 years back, Andal was preaching about Tamil, religious Tamil. So they want to portray it. Only atheist developed Tamil. Only the atheist practice is the practice of Tamil Nadu. So we strongly condemn that. And now he has become very arrogant. But in spite of that, they are following the some of the Hindu practices, and for political mileage they are doing that, and it's highly condemnable.
You've raised a similar point as Udaynidhi, in the sense that you've also spoken about what Periyar stood for. Now what Udaynidhi Stalin ma'am has said is that Annadurai has said this, Periyar has spoken about this, Kalainar, they've all made it very clear what they think of Sanatana Dharma. So these views that Udaynidhi Stalin aired last year wasn't really something that was new or controversial in Tamil Nadu. So has it just been politicized? Because these are comments that have been made previously, like Udaynidhi says, like you too have said, ma'am.
No, actually, they think that talking this is they are very unique in their character, and they are for Tamil. That's what I want to say. They want to differentiate the Tamil culture from Sanatan culture, and talking about Sanatan, and particularly they think that the anti-Brahminism, they want to project Hinduism as pro-Brahminism, and they want to differentiate the people, all the Hindus, they want to differentiate them, discriminate the Hindus in their religious and in the caste basis. That is the aim of them. So they are indirectly dividing the Hindus by talking about Sanatan. Sanatan is only for some section of the Hindus. So other section of the Hindus, particularly backward, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, are not following Sanatan. So this is the pattern of them till Anna days, till Periyar days. They want to discriminate, differentiate the Hindu religious people, and Udayanidhi is doing that. But now he cannot do that, because now the Hindus are enlightened about their hidden agenda, and he talks about that. So this is the hidden agenda of DMK, to discriminate and differentiate the Hindus between in caste-wise basis the Hindu religion. So for that only they are twisting it, and they are politicizing the issue for their own sake.
Can I just highlight, ma'am, and this is my last question to you, which is that you're saying that, now today there's a realization about what the DMK is about. This is a controversy that happened last year in September. We've had an election since then. Electorally, it hasn't harmed the DMK. It hasn't dented them in any way. So the message seems to be that Tamil Nadu voters simply don't care about all of these controversies.
Yeah, that is what I told, no, because the people has been brainwashed. Sanatan means it is against them. Major section of the people believe that it is against them. So now the people are understanding, and we are propagating in a proper way that it is not, but it will be revealed in the forthcoming elections. Before these type of narrative was successful, and DMK is not winning only because of this opinion. They have muscle power, money power, their organization power, and they are winning because of that also. So these type of emotional issues picking up in Tamil Nadu than the Sanatan type of issues. So this is, now it is high time we have to make the people to understand that this is totally against the people and against the life pattern of the people, livelihood of the people. And now people start understanding it.
All right. Okay. Tamilisai Soundararajan, thank you very much for joining us here on India Today with your views, ma'am, on this raging controversy. Udayanidhi Stalin, so far, despite all of the political pressure, making it very clear that there is no question of apologizing, saying, I'm Kalaigner's grandson. I will never apologize for the comment I made on Sanatana Dharma. This is, of course, going to snowball into a huge controversy, which we will continue to track.
Hoax bomb threats plague Indian Airlines. Over 50 threat calls in 24 hours. All airlines put on high alert. Flights diverted, passengers disembarked. "10 days on, no breakthrough in probe."
Whenever these incidents happen, our first and foremost thing is that we don't compromise on the safety and security aspect. And Suaska Act is there, so we are looking at an amendment in that. So we have put forward those things to the concerned department.
Turbulence for economy and airlines. Scare in the skies. That is our top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
It's been nearly 10 days where non-stop, back-to-back, every single day, there have been these hoax bomb threats, largely on social media. But the largest number by far has been in the last 24 hours, where we've seen over 50 such bomb threats being issued. All airlines, essentially Air India, CASA, Indigo, they've all received these bomb threats. Let's get you the latest updates coming in the last 24 hours. Since Monday night, Indigo has received over 20 such threats, and Air India too at about over 20. Vistara, Akasa, all of them have received these bomb threats. Sources have told us around 5 international flights were also diverted because of these threats being issued. Many of them take off, and then these messages are put out listing the flight number, leading to them having to be grounded in the closest airport, which is why you're seeing some international flights also being diverted. This is an unprecedented crisis that's plaguing Indian airlines, and yet it seems nothing has been done about it. For 10 days, we still don't have clarity on who's done it. There have been no arrests made, really. And whether it's a pattern where all of them are, linked, we still don't know. Shreya Chatterjee is joining us with more details on this. Shreya, this is extremely concerning. There's been a lot of talk about more punishment, about law serving as a deterrent. All of that discourse hasn't really, impacted or changed the fact that these pranksters, if they are that, continue to issue these threats.
Well, Akshita, it's even more concerning that even after an arrest was made by the Bombay police, even then there hasn't been an end to these hoax calls. It's been over a week. The entire airline industry in the country is living under an air scare. The total number of hoax calls has already crossed 150. And as you rightly pointed it out, in 24 hours itself, it's more than 50 such calls, because every time such hoax calls are received, the entire process to ground the airline, send out the security protocol measures, it runs the industry into amounts of losses. Sure. That's precisely why we also saw the Civil Aviation Ministry actually suggesting that they might just move ahead and make this offence a cognizable offence. We do know that the MHA's I4C wing is investigating these hoax calls. The ones that came in last week were traced back to London and Germany. But as of now, because of the fact that most of these individuals are using masked VPN IDs, the tracing gets extremely difficult, but we have multi-agencies now working on it. We only hope that there is a conclusive effort that is actually made in this, because if not, not just a formal arrest is making any difference, because if it's just a prank, it's still continuing to scare the entire industry in the country right now.
Shreya, at this point, officials say that these are pranksters Some of them are using different VPNs. That's why it's difficult really to identify who's done it. Shreya, thank you for those details. If this is indeed just a mindless prank that some minors are playing around thinking that, it's okay to pull off these kind of scares mid-air to target airlines because we're going to get away with it, the need of the hour is to send out a message that no, they won't. They won't get away with it. There's a lot of talk of deterrent, but clearly it hasn't served literally as a deterrent. You've got people continuing to issue these threats. And in the last 24 hours, over 50 flights have been inconvenienced. That's thousands of passengers who've been inconvenienced as a result of these hoax calls. You obviously have to take each one of them seriously, because you never know which one could actually be a genuine threat to passengers' safety. Now, we raised these questions with the Civil Aviation Minister, Ram Mohan Naidu, on what the government is doing about this crisis that's plagued Indian Airlines. Listen in to what he's had to say.
Recently, we've seen a lot of, bomb alerts and threats that have come up. How is the ministry trying to curb all of this?
Yesterday also I've mentioned that whenever these incidents happen, our first and foremost thing is that we don't compromise on the safety and security aspect. Whatever protocol is there, whenever we receive these kind of threats, that is going to be strictly followed. In fact, once this happened, we have increased the security measures also. We have increased the surveillance at the airports or in the overall aviation sector. Saying that, we are seeing that most of them are hoax. All of them are hoax. And once we are doing it, we see the inconvenience that it is being created for the airlines, especially financially, and also the passengers losing out on time, the inconvenience, the frustration they had to go through. I sympathize with all that. So we are trying to see what better procedures can be brought in. So whenever these kind of calls happen, how best we can efficiently delegate the powers of each and every institution which is involved. Suppression of unlawful activities in civil aviation. SUASCA Act is there, so we are looking at an amendment in that. So we have put forward those things to the concerned departments. Once we get their briefing, we are going to see what next, how to go proceed on this one.
As far as Civil Aviation Ministry is concerned, obviously their focus is on protocol, which can't really change because every single one of this case will have to be treated seriously. They have to follow due protocol, which is ensuring that all passengers are disembarked. Just imagine how many such flights have actually faced this kind of protocol where from scratch they've had to do security checks, 174 to be exact, in the last 8 days. It started on October 14th when you had 3 flights receiving these bomb hoaxes, which is extremely serious by itself. That number kept growing, as you see here. It kept varying back and forth. By 16th or 17th October, we realized the gravity of the crisis, the full-blown crisis that we're talking about right now. And yet, despite that, while 1 or 2 arrests have been made, one in Chhattisgarh, another in Mumbai, it's really not made a difference, because even now, as you can see from every single day, there have been incidents of these hoaxes being reported. The numbers steadily going up, so much so that now from 21st to 22nd October, there have actually been over 70 flights, 79 flights that have been grounded after taking off in some cases, while in fact boarding passengers in some cases. But what's the protocol to be followed? Everyone has to get off their cabin, their check-in, everything has to be checked, and then the flight takes off, which means in each one of these cases, it's a 1 or 2 hour delay. And that also means a huge economic impact, financial turbulence for these airlines. International flights, and there have been many international flights, by the way, that have also been targeted with these hoax calls, these threats. They may incur losses of up to 3 crores because of these kind of hoax calls being made. Now, airlines themselves are struggling and grappling with this crisis. They're cooperating with agencies, with the government, but the airlines itself face up to 12 to 17 lakh rupees of losses per hour. Imagine what they're facing right now because of the delays being caused due to these hoax calls. Now, flights also dump tons of fuel to ensure safe landing. What happens if suddenly mid-air this threat is issued? They have to land at the closest airport, which means, again, dumping a whole lot of fuel, waste of resource. And again, hugely expensive. Unscheduled landing charges are borne by airlines, not by the passenger. And even for the passenger, hugely inconvenienced timing-wise and also because of the costs that they've paid. Passenger accommodation costs are borne by airlines in the case of cancellations. And there are some of these flights which have been cancelled because 2 hours before they're to take off, this threat is issued. So then obviously authorities believe it's safer to cancel than to actually go ahead and continue with the planned takeoff. The compensation to passengers and rescheduling cost is also, in fact, borne by, in some cases, the airlines, rescheduling costs in some cases by the passengers as well. So you can see how it really creates such a huge economic dent. And besides that, obviously, the kind of chaos that it triggers at airports is why the need of the hour is to ensure strict action. And whoever these people are, if they are pranksters or if there's something more serious here of an agenda of going ahead and hampering Indian Airlines, that needs to be nipped immediately by agencies who now, 8 days on, still have no clue of who's issuing these threats. I want to bring in Karishma Asudani to talk more about really the financial turbulence for airlines. Karishma, 8 days, over 170 flights which have received these bomb hoaxes. Is there any sense right now, Karishma, of what this has meant economically, financially for these airlines?
Well, Akshita, of course, it's a very difficult situation. And if we talk about financially, you did mention a rough estimate. And this is something that we at Business Today calculated. For example, if you try and take a flight from just, say, Delhi to Hyderabad, then you will utilize a fuel. A normal aircraft, which is the Airbus Neo, will utilize a fuel of about 5,000 liters for a distance of 1,200 kilometers. Per se, let's say that in 1 hour they get a bomb hoax diversion call and they decide to take a diversion. That 1 hour will probably cover about close to only 2,000, 2,500 liters, and the rest 2,500 liters will have to be dumped, which itself will cost them about close to 8 to 9 lakhs. Now, we've been picking up at that because of these bomb hoax calls, and especially the diversions that international flights had to take. There has been an estimate of close to about 500 crores across all the airlines that the loss had to be paid. And this is a number that's believable because when you're taking an international flight, the diversion cost is mega. If you say it will be more than about close to 10 to 20 times of a normal domestic flight. So, for example, what happened with Air India when they were flying to New York and it was diverted to Canada, it was a major loss for them, not only just financially for the current flight, but also for the next flight that was scheduled. Like you said, close to about 50 calls have just come in today, and we have picked up that there were 3 international flight diversions. Now, knowing the fact that how domestic Indian aviation sector it's doing, it's a bleeding situation. It's a clearly bloodbath situation for them because the festive season is ideally the only time that they earn. Yeah. And knowing the fact that their balance sheets...
it's bad timing very clearly because during the festive season, when there's more rush at these airports, is when all of this chaos is breaking out. Thanks, Karishma, for joining us with all of those details and breaking down really what kind of losses we're talking about. And this has been going on for the last 8 days. We're not at any point saying that the government isn't taking this seriously or the agencies aren't doing enough. But there are serious concerns being raised of why it's taking so long to actually identify who's behind these hoaxes and how long is this going to continue to hamper Indian Airlines. We will continue getting you all the latest and asking those questions really of the agencies on this serious issue of bomb hoaxes being reported non-stop targeting Indian Airlines, international as well as domestic flights. But unfortunately, I've run out of time completely. That's all we have in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks very much for tuning in.